Hi and welcome to this new show I'm going to do here on Watch On channel. This is a kind of a news show and I'm trying to get time to do this kind of video, these kind of videos once a week or maybe every second week. It depends on how much time I have and what kind of news is coming out in the world of watches. So this is a kind of a quick news show of what's happening in the world of watches, and I have four news stories I'm going to cover in this video. The first is that the Orient Watches are releasing a new version of the Orient Bambino version 4. The second news story I'm going to cover in this news show is that a very rare Patek Philippe watch has been sold at an auction in Switzerland for 11 million American dollars. The third news story is that Tudor have released a new Pegasus version of the Pegasus, very popular dive watch. And the fourth story in this show is that the Italian micro brand Pegasus Watches have now funded two new watches at a Kickstarter. So let's just start out with this first story about Orient Watches. So maybe you don't know Orient Watches, but this is a subsidiary to Seiko watch company, and the Orient Watches are doing a lot of really great, especially very affordable, really nice dive watches and affordable, really nice dress watches. And actually today, for this show, I'm wearing an Orient Mako 2, which I just received. Maybe you have seen my unboxing video where I just have my first look at this watch, and I have adjusted the bracelet, and so far I'm very happy with this watch. So the first story I'm going to cover in this show is the new Orient Bambino version 4, a new version of the version 4. The Orient Bambino version 4 came out this year, and it was a huge improvement for Orient Watches, with the Bambino being one of the probably the most affordable kind of quality dress watch. Huge improvements with the version 4 was manual winding and hacking with the movement, so huge step forward. And now Orient Watches are releasing a new version of the version 4 of the Orient Bambino, and the only change is actually that with the Orient Bambino version 4, the diameter size was 40.5 millimeters, and now they have stepped up the game and they are releasing three versions of the Orient Bambino version 4 with a diameter of 42 millimeters. So Orient are actually kind of releasing a dress watch which is too big to be a dress watch. Normally you say that a dress watch should be 40 millimeters or less in diameter, but actually they are now stepping up the game to 42 millimeters. So this could be a nice news for all you guys out there with bigger wrists, where 40, 38, 39 or 40 millimeters just looks too small. Now you have the chance to get the very nice Orient Bambino version 4 at a larger size, which will probably fit your wrist better. Everything is the same. You get the same movement, the caliber F6724. New edition comes in three versions, which you can see on the screen right now. You get the one version with the green dial in golden metal. The case is built in golden metal. You get the black dial in steel, and you get the blue dial in steel. I personally own the blue version in the 40 millimeter size, and I'm totally happy with it. So I don't really know why they're going to release, why they have released a new version of the Orient Bambino version number 4 at this size, but anyways, let's just be happy that all you guys with the bigger wrists now has the chance to buy an affordable dress watch at a really low price. I actually paid $120 for mine, and I think the price point is around the same, maybe a little more expensive, but paying around $140 to $150 for fully automatic in-house movement in this beautiful designed watch is really a nice deal. So remember to look back in the archives to see my review of the Orient Bambino version 4 if you're interested in this watch. So moving on to the next story. This is the story about a very rare Patek Philippe watch, which was sold last week for no less than 11 million American dollars. This watch was actually sold at an auction in an auction called Bax and Rousseau in Geneva in Switzerland, and we are actually talking about the reference number 1518. This was sold at the auction in less than 13 minutes for $11 million. So it took less than 13 minutes to end the auction, and some lucky buyer just, splashed the cash and paid 11 million American dollars. But it's no coincidence that this particular Patek Philippe watch, the reference 1518, is so expensive. This was built in 1943, and actually there's only 4 copies of this watch in the whole world. So of course it's quite expensive. So the third story for this watch news show is that Tudor are releasing a new version of the Pegasus, and this is actually a left-handed version. So the popular little brother brand to Rolex, Tudor, have now taken into consideration that a lot of left-handed people out there also like watches. And if you're left-handed, you maybe want to wear your watch on the right wrist. So that means that if you're doing this with a normal left-hand watch, right-hand watch, sorry, you're actually having the crown pointing inwards towards your arm. But with this new version, which Tudor is calling reference 25610TNL, and as the name maybe reveals, this is actually, like I said, a watch for the left-handed out there. And this is designed to be worn on the right hand, which means that if you're wearing this new Tudor Pegasus watch on your right wrist, the crown will point towards your hand, like you see on this Orient. It comes in a titanium case with a titanium steel, titanium bracelet. The watch is 42 millimeters wide in diameter, and for now there's no other colors than the black version. There's no other strap options as we speak now, but maybe they will release newer versions. The movement is still Tudor's in-house movement MT5612, and the price starts at around 4,200 American dollars. So moving on to the last story of this watch news show, is actually a story about an Italian microbrand called Pegasus Watches. And they just managed last week to fund 2 new watches on Kickstarter. The Italian microbrand Pegasus Watches will now start the production of these 2 very nice diving watches. They're kind of dressy, vintage-looking dive watches. The 2 watches are called Nettuno and Mercurio, and they will start production. And Pegasus Watches expect to deliver the watches to all the backers on Kickstarter in April 2017. This watch company is based in Venezia in Italy, and I actually myself backed this watch company, and I backed it for 2 watches. So I'm contemplating getting 1 Nettuno and 1 Mercurio. Actually, the watches, as you can see in the pictures which I'm adding to this news show, they kind of are homage watches to the Rolex Submariner and the Rolex GMT Master. But still, I think they got their own style, their own life, and they come on home handmade Italian leather straps. Also, they come in really beautiful Italian handmade wooden boxes, and the movement is Japanese. So all in all, I think these watches are some very interesting new achievements for this small micro watch company, which are actually now trying to back yet another new line of watches on Indiegogo. And this new watch reminds me a bit of the old Rolex Explorer 1. So these 2 new watches, Nettuno and Mercurio, comes in a variety of colors and different nice leather straps. So well, I think the retail price will be around 549 euros, which is roughly around 580 American dollars. I hope you enjoyed this quick news show with some news about what's happening in the world of watches. I will be back very soon with another news show when I have gathered some new interesting stories for me to tell you. If you haven't yet subscribed to Watch On channel, please remember to subscribe. Remember to follow me on Instagram, Facebook. You can comment down below. You can give me a thumbs up if you like this video and a thumbs down if you didn't. You are very welcome to shoot me an email if you have any questions or suggestions for nice stories for this watch show. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye.